Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. This is West Wednesday, 529, day 3703. We've been fighting for accountability, not just for my big brother Tyrone West, but literally for all the victims of police brutality and murder. And it's just we're in some sad times, and it's crazy that as soon as we pull up, the boys are, I guess they done left now. But they pulled out, or they over there, they just rotate, they ain't going away, they just switch sides. Yeah. But it said that they watching us through West Wednesday, but we couldn't pay one cop car to show up in Brooklyn Park. And they're the reason why 30 people were shot and two beautiful souls were murdered. Now they want to be at work watching a peaceful protest. Like, really? It's disgusting. But this is the stuff that we go through. But tonight I just want to say it's a lot on my heart. And even though I've been having several conversations with my nephew, but to me, he's still missing until he gets in my arms and I can lay eyes on him. He's still missing, and I need him here. And Atlanta, Georgia, is no place for anyone to be missing. They are heartless. Literally, I called the pound today. I've been calling since his car been in the pound, trying to get his car. At least pay all the fines on. It's almost at $600. Was willing to pay for it tonight, and they told me that he's the only person that can show up with the ID. And then they said that we need to come down there with cash. Like, really, I'm all the way in Baltimore. You talking about the only way they don't take credit cards. You just told me at first y'all take a credit card. They're like, well, the only credit card we can take is Trayvon's. I'm like, y'all full of crap. All they want to do is with the police. All they want to do is auction off his car. It's just sad and disgusting. Nobody cares. The crisis center down there is a joke. I literally called because I wanted them to help take him to the hospital. That way he can get his medication. They can help with getting his ID. We just came right there and pick up my baby. Bad joke. They keep calling the police. So to me, anybody that deals with the police department, unfortunately, is a joke. It's sad. We're in sad times. The reality of it. Especially if I tell you that he's traumatized and for his safety, don't send the police. And y'all keep doing that. It's a joke. It's a joke at this point. It's a joke. But it's not a joke. Because my nephew life matters. And I'm just letting y'all know, God, if anything happen to my nephew, it's on and popping in Atlanta. Do y'all think it's on and popping in Baltimore? It's going to be on and popping in Atlanta as well. I will fight everybody the right way. And I'm not talking about no physical fight. I'm talking about the right way, taking you guys down, exposing the corruption. That to me is the right way. We got to keep exposing these jokes. They don't give a damn about us. And it's sad because I just looked at a video someone sent me, and it was from the 70s or could have been earlier than that. But the whole point, the video showed they were targeting the squeegee boys back then in the 60s. And y'all still doing the same thing. The same stuff we fight for about police brutality, all of that was happening in the 60s. They were fighting for, and then the disgusting part, that one thing that I saw that really blew my mind was they were saying that they like pretty much discriminating against obese people, saying they didn't want them to work. They were saying that they didn't want them to work, and that they would be late for work because of their weight, and that they couldn't hold a job. All this foolishness. And I was looking at it got me so disgusted. I couldn't even finish the clip. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And this is like people literally talking on the news like it was nothing, just like now. And I just want to say the way that Fox 40 Lives is, it's disgusting. They're going after our babies, big time. All you hear about all day long is teenage crime. Teenage this, teenage that. That's all you hear about all day long. And they keep on touching so-called teenagers a part of the mainstream, but they ain't touched the killers yet. Where are the killers? Where are the killers? That's what I want to know. Where are the killers? And then they keep on going after State Street. Well, sorry, State Street did more for them, more for anybody than the bottom Baltimore City Police Department, let's be crystal clear. State Street did more than anything of what the Baltimore City Police Department did. And the only reason why they're mad because State Streets are ex-offenders and they're galvanizing, sort of like what we're doing, and trying to save lives, and they just trying to blast them out. And for Sheila Dixon, that's trying to run as the mayor again, give it up. Like, when you gonna let it go? It's almost like you're a stalker trying to enter a relationship that you're unwanted for. But the fact that you're feeding in Fox 45's media, you're feeding into it. Now you're like, oh, I'm gonna have an investigation of safety. Investigate yourself. Start by there. Once you investigate yourself, then we can take it from there. Just like Thurman with all his foolishness. These people are jokes and they're using our pain for their gain. They don't give a damn about us. And this capitalist system don't give a damn about us. I'm just ready to smash and trash it. Because it shows you every day they don't care. Literally, they are holding on to my nephew's property and I have power of attorney. I am him. I can actually go and get his car. But like they playing games. And I'm telling you, I'm talking to two racist people down there. Like you can hear, you can just feel the sickness of the hate over the phone. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But this is a murder case. It's sad, it's disgusting. But this is a capitalist system that does not care about you, me, or nothing. All it cares about money. It feeds off of racism, sexism, it feeds off of all these isms, right? And it's disgusting. And if you think about it, let's go back to when my brother Tyrone West was murdered. Before my brother was murdered, my nephew never suffered from anything. Nothing. But as soon as his dad was murdered, that's when the mental illness came in. And that's normal. Anybody. You're a baby, and your father now, who was your primary caregiver, your everything, is actually murdered. I suffer from it. We all suffer from it. But it's just sad and disgusting that this is what happens when you don't get accountability. We should not be out here 10 years later still talking about the same issue. We should not. It's a shame. And the same way they tried to pay me off is the same way they tried to kill me off and run me off. But guess what? I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. And God forbid, if the day and time comes, I have somebody that will step in my place easy and quick and then keep on keeping my brother's name going. So it's not going to stop. And it's not just about my brother Tyrone West, it's about all the victims of police brutality. Here it is, we're coming up on the 11th year of Anthony Anderson. Brutal murder. Because I remember he was murdered in September, a whole year before my brother was murdered. And tonight, I have the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson here, and the saddest part, and that's why my heart goes out to her, because not only did she lose her father-in-law she never got a chance to meet, but to actually lose her daughter, her 16-year-old baby, like 2 weeks later, like, my heart and kudos, everything goes out to you, Nicole. You already know that. Thank you. And my heart goes out to any mother, any dad that loses their child. Like at the end of the day, our children are supposed to bury us. We're not supposed to never bury our children. I don't give a damn. We're never supposed to bury our children. And when you have to do something like that, I don't know what I feel like, God. I don't want to know. But for Nicole and so many other mothers that I have met and fathers that I have met that had to bury their babies, it's disgusting. That is the worst type of pain ever. You couldn't compare. And then at the end of the day, every family member suffers differently. You know, it takes a whole totality effect on the whole entire family, from the youngest to the eldest. Because I always think about when my brother was murdered. How my grandmother, who was the eldest person of my family, the queen of our family, she couldn't understand why they would kill her unarmed grandbaby, her first grandchild. All she kept saying was, why did they do that to Tyrone? And I had to unfortunately say, you know what, Grandma, the same way you taught me about racism, all that, right? I had to tell her, this sister don't give a damn about you. And they did it because they can, and they constantly doing it. It's constantly happening. And guess what? It's not a Baltimore thing. Unfortunately, it's a worldwide thing, and it needs to stop. But again, this has been going on for 400 plus years, guys. They used to lynch us from trees. They used to cut babies out of the mother's womb and hang a lyncher. Lynch a whole damn family. And they're still doing it now. They just replace their tools with bullets, with different devices such as tasers. They're steel toe metal boots where they're kicking and stomping and beating you down. And slamming you on the head like they did Anthony Anderson. It's disgusting. But this is what we have to survive through. And that's why for 529 weeks, 3,703 days, we've been constantly doing this. We're not doing this because it's fun. We're doing this because it's hurtful and it needs to be done. We have to live through this pain every day while most folks are getting good sleep at night and good sleep and celebrating their families and loved ones on the weekend and holidays and all that good stuff. We're constantly fighting for our loved ones. And right now, I just want to say, before I bring my sister Nicole up, if you're in the Atlanta area and you see my nephew, Trayvon West, please, I'm begging you, reach out to me. Because it's getting worse. No one's helping him, and he needs help. He needs to be brought home safe. He rolled down there. And unfortunately, the thing that was keeping him safe is now they're holding their hostage. That's what they're doing. They're holding the hostage, putting $50 fees on it every single day, holding the hostage. And that's what they're doing. The saddest part, when this call first got sent, they thought he was just a missing person. They didn't give a damn if he was dead or alive, God forbid. They didn't care. All they cared about, oh, this is property. And that's symbolic to this damn system. They care more about property than they care about us. They don't care about us. They do not give a damn about us. I guarantee you, if on that day when Brooklyn Park was doing their thing, having fun, having a cookout, enjoying your life before the massacre happened, unsolved, probably with the pigs, I said it, it's not West Coalition, this is the Wanda Jones. But if a building was burning down there, or they kicked some property over, you would have saw so many officers down there that day. But you talking about people getting murdered, they ain't give a damn. They took hours to come. And I even think about those babies that were gunned down at a school. And the officers went in there to check and grab their babies and left the other ones to get murdered. That's how dirty this goddamn system is. They'd have cared more if the school would have burned down, the building, than the babies inside of the building. This is a sad and disgusting system. I'm tired of playing with it, to be honest. I feel like we need to knock it down brick by brick, just pull it apart. And that's from my damn heart. So, no further ado, I'm going to bring my sister Nicole up. Mic check. Thank you, Queen. you know, uh, I'm Nicole Pettiford. I am the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson and the mother of Ajay Harad, who both were brutally murdered. My father-in-law was murdered September the 21st, 2012, by the Baltimore City Police Department. And 2 weeks later, on October the 2nd, my daughter, Ajay Harad, was murdered due to street violence. So I'm here representing two loved ones at the same time for two totally different things. It's hard, y'all, because the 21st of this month will make exactly 11 years that my father in law has been gone. We have no justice. There will be no peace because we don't have the justice. And I just thank God that He put me in a position to meet Tawanda because this queen has helped give me the platform and the voice to be able to speak out to whoever will listen and try to get justice for my loved ones. Like she says all the time, this is sick and disgusting. You know, my daughter just turned 27 years old. Well, she would have been 27 years old if she would have been alive. And she was only 16 years old, and she had only been 16 for 3 months before they took her life. My father-in-law, he was going to a birthday party, his granddaughter's birthday party at that, when he lost his life. And my niece has to always remember her birthday as when she lost her grandfather. How disgusting is that? But they went home to their family members. They went home to their loved ones that night. My father-in-law didn't get that opportunity to do that. He didn't get that opportunity to celebrate his granddaughter's birthday. I never got the opportunity to meet my father-in-law because he was taken away from me. But I carry that man in my heart every day and everywhere I go. I'm always going to love him, even though I didn't get a chance to meet him. And if he's in heaven looking down, I know he is proud of me because I'm going to keep his name alive as long as I have breath in my body. Him and my daughter, Ajay Harad, their names will never die. My daughter will always live as long as I live. And I want everybody to say their name. Anthony Anderson will always live on.
Will always live on.
Ajay Harad
Ajay Harad
will always live on.
will always live on.
Mike check.
Mike check.
Yeah, I just also wanted to add on that they were doing like some reform things in Annapolis, and they were talking about all the stuff with the teenagers and all the stuff and everything that Jill Carter worked so hard to protect our babies. They're trying to smear some of this needs to be repealed. But they don't want to talk about the Officer Killer Rights. That should have been the first thing to freaking repeal. And then you want to question, and she has a bill that says that they cannot question babies without their parents. That makes sense. You can't even question these goddamn killer cops without their lawyers. So you want to question babies, but you are grown ass men and women killing cops to get away. And that's exactly what happened to Nicole's baby. Her baby was pulled down to a station, gone for being questioned, and you know the rest. I don't even want to, you know, traumatize her even further. But my whole point, the shame of white devils, the shame of house Negroes to sit and say, oh, well, this is a shame. This is stopping the police from doing that. Ain't nothing stopping. These police will study doing what they're doing, and that's murdering us. And they are protected. And when they murder us, they get full immunity to cause havoc in our community. That's what's going on. They get promotion. Look at the first cop we read. Let's talk about him. The first killer cop got a big promotion, pay raise, all of them, more than a pay raise. Like his stuff literally went, and I did research on these killer cops. First, he wasn't even making $60,000, and he literally went from that to almost 250,000. For what? Slaughtering my brother for doing what he did to the other victims. This is disgusting. But this is what we have to deal with. This is our reality. You kill a Negro, you become a hero. And then on top of that, he just emerged Michelle Battle, a state prosecutor that's working now in the state prosecutor's office, and we're wondering why, oh, Ruiz haven't never lost his job. He's they all in the bed together. They're all in the bed together. We've been telling y'all that. Everybody is in the bed with each other. Everybody got power. And also, I just want to say something about our mayor. He is the first mayor that ever tried to give children opportunities. You know, I don't agree with everything that he did, but he is the one that made a way for like squeezy kids to get paid. All that. He started up so many initiatives to help them, and that's why they hate him. That's why they hate Jill Carter. Anybody that protects our babies and us that are gatekeepers, they hate you. They hate you, but we know that. And then they're going to get Fox 40 Live to come in, and everything's going to back their narrative. And all they keep doing at any town hall meeting, going together the data where somebody's saying how they don't agree with safety. I honestly believe that Fox 40 Live is paying on people to come and say stuff. I ain't even going to lie. I ain't even going to lie. Because it fits their narrative. But we we have so much going on, and just for them to think that they're going to put Wally, make him the commissioner, he couldn't even handle 150, 140, I'm sorry, officers. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I said I'm one person. I'm a good cop. Who God made you a good cop? That's what I want to know. Who gave you that label? Show me one person that said Wooly was a good cop. Because if you stand there and you watch people committing crimes and doing stuff, and I know that you saw a bad up and one brother, I ain't seen nothing bad. But guess what, sir? You told me you were at the scene. The same scene where 17 or more telecoms beat one unarmed man and was covering their hind parts. You saw it. So you saw more than 17 bad officers. That makes you bad for setting up an on face line. And you were working with them actively to come out. Because I remember when we started West West, when we were going there, you would come out and try to talk and run us off. The same way you ain't run us off, then you're not going to run us off now. And we're going to be right there to say you did not deserve to serve. I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt just to see if you would be transparent, which I knew that you wouldn't. But I just thought that you had an iota of respect. Sorry, guys, 1 minute. I thought that you would have an iota of respect to just admit the truth. Just to say, you know what? That happened. I'm sorry it happened, but I'm gonna make sure I change it. You ain't even trying to change. You coming in there, big bad wolf. I'm gonna keep blowing the houses down. I don't care how corrupt it is. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing, and that's not gonna work. The same way the other commissioner tried to come here and we ran his ass off, we're gonna run you off as well. I don't care if they say you from here. What does that matter? A lot of folks that Rue is from here, he ain't for us, so what does that make you? That don't matter to me. So I'm gonna do a mic check and pass the mic to anybody else that wanna say something. Mic check. Just a quick FYI, um, September 21st, next Thursday, is the confirmation hearing for Worley at City Hall, 4th floor, 5 p.m. I really want as many people to show up as possible, especially the individual cases that were listed on the flyer that I made up. So I'm like begging, like if the ACLU is watching, get in touch with Ashley Overbay and have her there next Thursday at 5 o'clock. Abdul Salam, if you're watching, please show up at City Hall at 5 o'clock next Thursday. Darrell Harris, if you're so inclined, please show up at City Hall at 5 o'clock next Thursday. Mr. Timothy McCullough, if you're available and can come back into town, please show up at City Hall and let them know how Worley ignored your complaint until it turned into a civil case and money had to be paid out by taxpayers for these dirty cops. Worley does not deserve to serve, to quote Shorty, and we need to make sure that he is not given that position. And there was a guy within Harrison's organization who he brought here from New Orleans that was pretty much in charge for the consent decree changes, and he resigned today. He's only there until the end of September, and then he's leaving, going back to New Orleans. That was in the Sun today. So, there's already people dropping like flies. And Worley is the king of ignoring and turning a blind eye, turning a deaf ear to corrupt cops. So it's only going to continue. 25 years on the force and he hasn't done shit. He's never ever held anybody accountable. He's shifted men around. He's given them promotions. He's recommended, to have them move to another unit or whatever. He was there during the original stop and frisk. He was there during the inception of Jump Out Boys. He was there during the GTTF. And let me remind you All of the cops that participated in GTTF were not arrested. They were not arrested. The couple that were put into jail was by the feds. And they were being so blatant with their activity that they couldn't ignore it. But all the higher ups, Dean Palmer, all of those higher ups were allowed to retire early. None of them that were overseeing these yahoos were held accountable. None of them. None of the higher ups. All of them deserve to be in jail with the rest of them. All of them do, including Worley. Because when Worley wasn't in the Northeast District anymore, guess where he went? He went to main headquarters downtown, and he was working under Harrison. So he's been over all of the different districts already and has been doing nothing. And then he claims in these town hall meetings, oh, the police have changed. I want anyone within earshot of me to acknowledge if you feel that the police have changed for the better, because I think they've changed for the worse. All they do is change names of these units. Now they're called district action teams. District action teams is the GTTF, is the jump out boys. Are these ones going around killing unarmed individuals? And they've also shot babies. They've shot children. Donnell Rochester, the other young man, I can't think of his name, that they chased down the street and shot him in the back. That was a district action team, aka GTTF. GTTF did not go away. GTTF is not in jail. 9 people were put in jail, but the GTTF is still going strong as a district action team. Just like 2 weeks ago when we were up here, they were all around here chasing somebody through these side streets, chasing them down that street, chasing them up in the Giant, in all these like individual unmarked cars you wouldn't even believe were jump out boy cars. Little tiny blue car, a silver minivan, all had the lights on them. So I'm telling you, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, and it's not gotten better. Worley doesn't deserve to serve. I don't know who does, but Worley does not deserve to serve. 25 years on the force, and you've shown you're as corrupt as your underlings. In fact, more so, because you helped cover it up. Mic check. Yeah. Anybody else want to add or say anything before we move on? Anybody? All right. Well, again, I want to thank you guys, and if all hearts and minds is clear, I'm going to read our disclaimer. Sorry I left the paper home, but thanks to Helen, y'all have it on my phone. All right. Oh, I got it. Thank you. It is our mission of the West Coalition to work for accountability for Tyrone West and all the victims of police brutality. We believe that there is a connection between police brutality and community violence. People can use de escalation strategies to diffuse situations without necessarily using force. And we encourage community members to resolve disputes without violence. We care deeply about those families impacted by police brutality and community violence. We seek to uplift names of their loved ones from a place of respect and care. We obtain lists of names of those shot and killed by police and those lost to community violence from national and local news outlets. We know that these names are by no means exhausted list, and that gun violence isn't the only way that people are murdered. We do not obtain detailed information about the circumstances surrounding surrounding each of these deaths or the people who died. By reading these names, we are not condoning violent behavior on any part of anyone involved in a situation. So, I want to take 2 minutes few minutes, guys, to lift up the names of all the people that was murdered on police brutality and community violence. Mike check. Thank you guys so much. So I'm gonna bring my brother Brian up. Mike check.
Mic check.
Thank you. Every week, we read these names to memorialize the people whose lives have been lost, to lift up their loved ones and friends, and to dedicate ourselves to uh, to stopping the senseless loss of life. So, can you just echo these names back to me, please? Carlisle Sanders,
Carlisle Sanders.
Stefan Stinnett,
Stefan Stitt.
George Dukes,
George Dukes.
Todd Anthony Cornish.
Todd Anthony Cornish.
Thank you.
And now bring up Uncle Bill with the police brutality list if he has one. Like we haven't had in like a week or two.
Thank you. So the list tonight, we're very fortunate, is a little shorter than it has been. We don't know if that's accurate, but it's nice to see a shorter list. Hopefully it is. But keep in mind that this list does not include people killed by the police if they were not shot to death. So Tyree Nichols was in the news today because the cops that took his life after facing trials at a state level are now facing federal trials for whatever they call it, race something. What are those federal charges? Civil rights violations. But I want to point out that the cops who killed George Floyd welcomed the federal civil rights accusations because they wanted to spend their time in federal jail where they thought they'd be safer and would have like a country club atmosphere. And so the ones that killed Tyree, all right, ones that killed Tyree Nichols, I imagine they're thinking the same way. But I just mentioned all that because this list only includes to the extent that it's complete within its own framework, its framework is only people killed by police who were shot to death. So we know, for example, Tyrone West would not be on the list, and many others. George Floyd would not be on the list. Tyree Nichols would not be on the list. Eric Garner, yes. So if you could poll the names of those killed by police in the most recent week that's been reported, that would be helpful. We're going from August 31st to September the 6th, so it's 1 week. They killed 8 people that we're aware of. First, 28 years old, driving a vehicle, Newcastle, Delaware, Tremaine Jackson.
Tremaine Jackson.
On September the 2nd, 17 years old, Chattanooga, Tennessee, David Lopez.
David Lopez.
September the 3rd, 59 years old, Alliance, Ohio, George Appleby.
George Appleby.
September the 4th, 32 years old, Polk County, Florida, Joshua Walker.
Joshua Walker.
September the 4th, 27 years old, San Antonio, Texas, Jacob String.
Jacob String.
September the 4th, Reno, Nevada. They don't say the gender, but this person is not yet identified.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe. September the 6th, in DeWitt, New York, 17 years old. They even call the person a child here in the write-up, which is the case at this point, unidentified.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
And the last person we'd like to uphold this evening, killed by police. There were 2 people in DeWitt, New York. This is the second. This person was 15 years old, killed by police, not yet identified either.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe. Mike check.
Mike check.
Wow, how disgusting. 16 and 17. That's so sad, like. But again, remember, live to love, love to live. I love you all. We got the events coming up. He's making an illegal turn. He's making a legal turn.
No left turn.
No left turn. No left turn. Breaking the law, sir.
Citizens arrest.
Yes. Lock his ass up. Anyway, remember, live to love, love to live. I love you all. And we will definitely see you guys next West Wednesday. And again, don't forget to meet us at the Warrior thing. And we got something coming up where we're going to be doing a special West Wednesday. So